that they were going to force the Zelensky government from power and replace it. It was a regime change plan. It is clear that's not happening. They are negotiating with the Zelensky government. They seem to understand they're stuck with it. And, so we've seen that shift, and that is absolutely a product of the Ukrainians fighting. Now, in terms of what other Russian expectations are going to back away from, I think it depends on how long the Ukrainians keep fighting and how much pain they can inflict on Russia. I mean, this is very much, and how much pain the Russians decide they're willing to take. The problem, of course, is that there is the other pain of walking away without a victory, of walking away having been defeated by Ukraine. And that may not be an acceptable loss for Moscow, which could keep things going perhaps indefinitely, right?
Moscow or Putin, because if Putin wants to remain in power, I mean, the cornerstone of that has been that he always appears to be the tough guy and that he wins. And for him to accept anything less than some kind of victory that he can advertise to the Russian people and his inner circle, which is largely yes men now, he needs some kind of victory, which that brings us to this whole idea of, keeping eastern part of Ukraine up to the Dnieper, maybe splitting the country in two and making it look a little bit like North and South Korea.
Look, Moscow doesn't control that much of Ukraine, so I don't think that's actually on the agenda. Moscow doesn't even control all of what it claimed, what it recognized as independent in Donetsk and Luhansk, right? Because the two breakaways claimed 3 times as much territory as they actually controlled. And they've made some progress, particularly in Luhansk. The Russians and the separatist fighters continue to fight with them, but they don't control all that much of Donetsk, even with all of this fighting for the past month. Mm-hmm. So, the argument that they can split the country, well, first of all, they split the country 8 years ago. The country's been split, and the Russians, by recognizing it, and demanding this recognition from Ukraine, that's been one of their war aims all along. How feasible it is and what it actually looks like, I don't know. Again, it depends on what the situation looks like on the ground. What it means for Russian domestically, look, I would say that they have a lot of leeway. They've got a very controlled information environment and a population that they could spin up to be pro-war on a dime. I don't understand, or on a ruble coin. I imagine they can do the same thing to sell the peace, and they would not be the first country to declare victory and retreat.